This is a high school group from FARMERSVILLE, California, up near Visalia, and they've interviewed a World War II veteran who was a co-pilot on a B-17 that was shot down over Germany, and so they've come down to do a reenactment. We have some of our artifacts, flight jackets, etc., that they will be using. And he was captured actually on a German Air Force base, and so we got a German uniform and a rifle, so we'll kind of do some of that too, probably. Today is, I don't know, March 10th, 2005. It's about 90 degrees out here today, so those flight jackets are going to be kind of hot for those kids.
I always was told that if we ever got into another war, we'd all be fought in the air. And I made up my mind as a young kid that if I ever got in a war, I was going to fly. And lo and behold, I found myself working in an aircraft factory, making warplanes. When I left the aircraft factory, I got my notice to come to Buckley Field, Colorado. I got the call I had already enlisted several months before, and I worked to the end, and I went in to see my supervisor and told him I had been called. And he said, "You don't have to go to war." He was a German immigrant fellow, real nice guy, Oscar Mueller. And I said, "But Mr. Mueller, I've already signed up." I said, "I do." And he said, "That doesn't matter, we can get you out." And I said, "But Mr. Mueller, I want to fly." He says, "Good luck and God bless you." Quite a training to behave when you get on a mission, how to behave if you're shot down. Our very first mission was to go in and bomb an airfield in Holland that the Germans had control of. But the fourth mission was the one that I remember. We got up very early in the morning because it was going to be a long flight. It was going to be about a maximum length flight. And they wakened us up about 3:30 in the morning, went into the flight room, ready room they call it, and all the officers, none of the enlisted men are in there, just the officers. Then they open a curtain, and they said the flak is liable to be pretty rough up there because they're pretty protective of their oil.
I've never seen it this bad. I can't see a thing. Jeez, what's with all this flak? Let's try to keep calm, boys. What was that? We must have taken a major hit.
Well, when we got hit, we wanted to assess the damage and what our options were. And I saw that Shep was bleeding badly, and I knew that he needed medical help as soon as possible.
Shep! Now let's hit.
Oh God, my head. I'm bleeding. The crew all right?
No, we're not all right. We're just rolling. Knock it out. You just cooled down.
Number 1 and number 2 engine were smoking. And we knew that we were in serious trouble. We knew for sure we were not going to make it back to England. The next thing was, where do we go from here?
How's the plane?
Structurally seems okay, but we've got to land. We've got 3 engines down.
The options were either go down here or take off over 60 miles of water towards Sweden.
Can we make Sweden?
Or the Baltic? I don't know. One engine? I don't think so. gotta try for Sweden, right? I mean, we gotta. What other choice do we have?
And we had a Jewish bombardier, Milton Cohen, real nice guy, but very Jewish, and rightfully so. He was angry. He was angry because he did not want to go down in Germany when he knew the way the Germans were treating Jews. He said, let's go to Sweden, let's go to Sweden. And I said, we can't, Bill. These men are too badly wounded.
I don't think we can take that chance.
Where do you think we should put it down?
Well, there's a German air base right near Hansen. I see it. I make it about 10 degrees off the starboard wing. About 6 miles out.
Jeez. We gotta do it.
We're above 20,000 feet, and everybody was off oxygen by that time, doing everything they can, so we got down below 10 and we were safe there. We got over the runway, couldn't have been more than 50 or 60 feet off the ground. They opened up with ground fire. I firmly believe that those bullets, they just weren't allowed to touch any of us. Not one single man out of 9 got one single bullet wound from all that gunfire going through our airplane. So we're out over a pasture now, less than 100 feet off the ground, a great big oak tree in front of us. And I just pushed forward on the stick. When I got down almost to the ground, I pulled back as hard as I could to bring the tail down. The left wing hit down because the right engine was going wild. It pulled us up, so the right engine was up, but this was down. We did what we call a flat spin, and the plane broke open in the middle. The guys in the radio room rolled out onto the wing, which left 4 of us still in the airplane. German soldiers started cropping up out of the grass with machine guns, yelling, "Hands up, hands up." Well, those of us who could hold our hands up did, but of course Shep couldn't. He was too badly wounded. They drug us way away from the airplane and then blew up. That night, they came and got me from my solitary confinement cell to go to the hospital with the 2 badly wounded guys. That was the end of the mission day. I was in the hospital for 10 days, and then I went from the hospital to an interrogation center called Gulag Luft, where I was again slapped into solitary confinement. In the camp, we were assigned to a room, and they're told you will get a Red Cross parcel once a week, food parcel. As long as we have them, you will get them. So we didn't do bad as long as those came, but as the war drug on, why it got more and more tough for the Germans to get the food to us. And I lost probably 30, 40 pounds at that time. I can tell you a lot of stories about things that were made in prison camp. My flag there is one thing that I made just sort of before we were liberated. We were liberated on May 1st of 1945. The American troops were only about 75 miles away from us to the east of us, and they were moving rapidly toward it. And it was evident that the Russians were going to get to us first. And we said, well, how are we going to identify ourselves if we could just make a flag and put it on our back? We took our Red Cross parcel, the box that the Red Cross food came in. We had a bunch of those around. The printing was in blue, but the Red Cross was always in red. So we took those Red Crosses, cut them out, and soaked them in dishes of water and just kept putting enough of them in there till pretty soon the water was like a dye. And we took and daubed that on to make the red stripes. Left a rectangle in the corner up here for the stars, so we went 6 up and 8 across. So that's the way we made the flag, because it was a symbol to the Russians that these were American. After we were liberated, they flew us down over Germany, down into France, got into trucks and took us onto into the barracks, and then he said, the mess hall is open. Great big feast waiting for you guys. And it was after dark. We got into the mess hall and we were eating, and somebody hollered, "The flag is out." I said, "The flag is out after dark?" Well, on a military base, you never fly a flag at night or in the rain. It's always taken in. And they said, "Come and see it." So we dashed out the door and we looked up at this flagpole. I swear that flagpole was 50 to 75 feet high, the largest American flag I've ever seen. And just there in the breeze going like this. We stood there bald. We just couldn't believe our eyes. This was old glory. this meant freedom. And we really knew we were free. We knew it was over. And the sight of that flag is just as vivid in my mind as any event that I've ever been through in my life. I guess my final word to you would be respect that flag.
So cheer up, my lads, bless them all. They say if